Second day of January, 9 a.m. And I'm going to go and call this meeting to order. Please join me in the pledges.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, one and indivisible.
All right. Please bow your heads.
Please join me as I pray. Again, Father, we're thankful for the blessings of this day. We're thankful for the rainfall you've sent us and just the promise it makes for new growth as the winter ends and the spring comes around. And Father, we are so blessed to live in this county. And this morning, the words of Jeremiah came to me because we wonder about what our future is going to be for this county. And is it good? Is it bad? Or what do we need to do? And these commissioners are trying to plan for the future. And Jeremiah told the Hebrew nation, he said, these are the words of the Lord. And he said, I know the plans I have for you. I have the plans not to hurt you, but to prosper you and bring you hope. And I think everyone here today wants a bright future and hope for this county. And a lot of that falls on the shoulders of these men and women that make up our commissioners court. And we just pray your wisdom on them. We pray that they seek your will because your plans are the right plans to have us prosper, not to bring us harm, but to bring us hope for a bright future. So we have to rely on you. So just pray that these commissioners will listen to your voice, will make decisions that benefit all the taxpayers, and all of this will be to your glory. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jerry. All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney. Here. Commissioner Casterline.
Here.
Commissioner Russo. Here. Commissioner Dupnick.
Here.
Judge Scottison.
Here, got a full quorum, full court. All right. Section 4, citizens to be heard. I've got one. Is that right, Miss County Clerk? Just one? Okay. Miss Kathy Floyd? Oh, that's you. Okay. Ma'am, did you sign up? Oh, is it out front? All right. You could come up to the podium. This is Kathy. Thank you.
My name is Kathy Floyd. I'm a property owner at 934 Hickory Avenue in Rockport. And I want to bring to your attention the concerns that not only I have, but my neighbors have, as well as the entire Oak Terrace subdivision. Permits have been issued by your agency, which you have oversight over, for building of 2 small homes on a lot adjacent to our property, according to the deed restrictions, and which are valid court records filed in the county. A house has to be built on 2 lots, 50-foot lots, so it's a total of 100 feet on the frontage, and also has to have a minimum of 1,250 square feet. Permits have been issued to a gentleman who has owned this property for some time. He is building 2 small homes. He has he's done the frames on Friday, and they're 5 feet off of our property line. According to county codes, it's supposed to be 8 feet. I don't know why permits were issued. I know that one of my neighbors went and spoke to the agency that issued the permits, and she was told, just be thankful they're not moving in a mobile home. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want my property devalued. I think this is wrong. I don't know who knows who, why it was done, who's responsible, but according to county codes and Texas state codes, you are supposed to honor all restrictions, even if they're deed restrictions. I've been told, oh, it's up to the HOA. No, an HOA handles the fluff. What color your bricks can be, what color you can paint your house, how long your trash can sit outside, all that stuff. But when restrictions are in place to keep the value of a subdivision up and it's ignored, that's ridiculous. Also, my neighbor was also told that before Harvey, they took into consideration the deed restrictions when it came to issuing permits. But since Harvey, they've let it slide. I'm sorry, but we don't get to pick and choose which codes are enforceable. I ask you to look into this immediately. I'm a retired school teacher. I don't have the funds to fight this legally. It's not fair. There is not one house in the Oak Terrace subdivision residential area that is on less than 100-foot lot, not one. This sets a precedent and it's going to be a perpetual mess and devaluation of our property. Y'all wouldn't let it happen in your residential neighborhood, except for Mr. Casterline, who you apparently didn't know that Hickory was even part of the Oak Terrace subdivision when you were contacted. But you know now.
I've always known that it's in there. I don't know who told you that I didn't, but
Those were your words, sir. So I call this to your attention and I ask for some immediate relief be brought to my neighborhood and the subdivision. And it falls on your responsibility. And I guess if we get no recourse here, I guess we contact the Texas Attorney General's office and find out why codes can't be enforced in this county. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Everly Von Villis. Von Villis. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Emily Von Villis. I'm also an Oak Terrace resident. I'm here this morning to ask for your intervention on behalf of the Oak Terrace residents. We are a small subdivision encompassing 4 streets: Hickory, Oak, Pine, and Redwood. The first block, that is commercial residential, has been absorbed by the city. However, the remaining neighborhood has remained intact until now. We are a neighborhood of modest homes, but what makes our neighborhood wonderful are mature trees, quiet streets with no through traffic, and decent lot sizes. This is due to the deed restrictions that were established with the subdivision's inception. From the original Oak Terrace document, every residence constructed shall contain an area of not less than 1,200 square feet, exclusive of porches, garages, and other appendages. From First Amendment to consolidation of restrictions, the Oak Terrace subdivision, quote, no building site, whether consisting of 1 or more platted lots, shall be less than 100 feet in width at all points from front to back. This amendment was set out in perpetuity unless a majority of homeowners vote to dissolve it. From amendment to restrictions, quote, the restrictions and covenants herein set out shall automatically be extended for an additional 10-year period and successive periods of 10 years thereafter, unless same are nullified, revised, or otherwise amended by a majority of owners in aforesaid lots. Nowhere in our neighborhood are the lots subdivided into less than 100 feet to build a home except here. The property owner of lot parcel 6251 on Hickory Avenue has had the 100-foot divided into 2 50-foot lots in violation of our deed restrictions. Now there is a new number for this 50-foot, along with 2 septics and electric meters. His framing up to build 2 small rental properties, each less than 1,000 foot and no more than 5 foot from their neighbors' properties and 10 foot from each other. He cleared every tree except one from the property, and there is not enough room for a garage, meaning that if there is more than 1 car, one may end up parked on an already narrow street. According to Road and Bridges new developed permit checklist, it states, remember to check your property deed and homeowners association guidelines for building restrictions. Alvaro Caldera, the property owner, has other properties in our neighborhood, and it is our understanding that he is a builder knowledgeable about deed restrictions. According to the Aransas County subdivision regulations number 4B, all lots will have a minimum front setback of 25 feet, a minimum side yard setback of 8 feet on each side, and a minimum rear yard setback of 25 feet. With a 5-foot side clearance, he is clearly not adhering to these requirements. Also, are those clearances foundational or aerial? I'm asking for your help in saving the integrity of our homes and neighborhood. My neighbor recently chose to buy and build for exactly the reasons that I've stated. She followed all the rules, making changes to comply with all the city requirements, only to potentially have someone completely disregard the restrictions she adhered to and build right next door to her. I will close this from the Aransas County subdivision regulations number 9. The enforcement of plat or deed restrictions is the responsibility of the developer and other owners in the subdivision. However, the Commissioners Court of Aransas County shall have the right and authority to enforce plat restrictions through appropriate legal procedure and to prohibit the construction or connection of utilities or issuing permits unless or until the requirements of plat restrictions have been achieved. And number 5, final plat required. No plat of a subdivision within Aransas County or extraterritorial jurisdiction of those cities and towns that have agreed to have Aransas County regulate subdivision in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of their cities or towns shall be recorded until a final plat has been prepared in accordance with these subdivision regulations and approved by the Commissioners Court. Thank you in advance for assistance in this matter.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we're going to move on to presentations and proclamations. Item number 1 is a proclamation for Purple Heart County. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Tracy, can you make sure there's only one copy of that everybody gets a copy? Thank you. I'm going to move that. We have a little we got cake here, a little celebration after we read this Purple Heart proclamation. So I'm going to move this towards the end of the meeting. Anybody? All right, thank you. We'll move on to item number 2.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. This is Proclamation P02 2024, recognizing February 2024 as Black History Month. Whereas this country was established upon a simple idea that all people are created equal and should be treated equally, and whereas the struggles and challenges faced by Black Americans include seeking freedom, equal treatment, the right to vote, equal opportunity in education, housing and employment, and so much more. And whereas Black History Month became a federal holiday in 1976, when President Gerald Ford recognized the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history in a bicentennial speech. And whereas during National Black History Month, we celebrate the legacy of Black Americans whose power to lead, to overcome, and to expand the meaning and practice of American democracy has helped our nation become a more fair and just society. And whereas Black History Month affords a special opportunity for all of us to become more knowledgeable about Black heritage and history and to honor the many Black leaders who have contributed to the progress of our nation. And whereas knowledge and strengthen the insight of all citizens related to the issues of human rights and equal rights, as well as an understanding of the continuing struggle against racial discrimination. Now, therefore, let it be known on this 22nd day of January 2024 that the Aransas County Commissioners Court, duly convened and acting in its capacity as the governing body of Aransas County, hereby proclaims the month of February 2024 as Black History Month. The commissioners urge all residents to come together in making February a time to acknowledge and rededicate themselves to the principle of justice and equality for all people.
Thank you. We don't need to vote on the proclamations, do we? Can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the proclamation P02 2024.
Got a motion, got a second. We read the proclamation. Let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Goddison.
Aye, passes 5-0.
I move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, and we've got animal care director. Caitlin's gonna read our donations.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'd like to acknowledge that the Public Safety Center donations of animal supplies of blankets, treats, toys, and leashes in the estimate of $150 was donated to us in December. Kenneth Raymond in the amount of $100. Carl Williams in the amount of $20. Dorothy Vasquez in the amount of $52. And a large anonymous donation of blankets, food, animal supplies in the estimate amount of $500.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caitlin, I'd like to compliment you. I talked to Mr. Kenneth Raymond in Lamar, and he said one reason I drove that $100 donation was because of the way you and actually Wendy Lawler both handled the situation he had. You were very responsive and very passionate about what you were doing, and he was very thankful for that, and that led him to make that donation.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, let's go and call for a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Goddison.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 5.
I move to approve the Rockport Center for the Arts report for the fourth quarter of 2023.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Mr. Perron, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here to present our quarterly activities for the fourth quarter of 2023. There's our monikers for the Art Center: Explore, Discover, Express. For the Conference Center, Rock Your Next Event. So we had one festival, actually two activities that we would consider tourism activities or economic development activities, and one was the annual Rockport Art Film Festival that happened on November 9th through 12th. It was held at the Conference Center. And this is how we spent advertising and public relation funds for that activity. We spent a total of $7,123 in a variety of activities, including radio, television, digital billboards, online digital campaigns, etc. And this is the visitation report. We had 712 guests come during the 4-day event in the fall time, and out of which 29% were visitors from other parts of the state that we consider tourism areas, including the major metro, which include Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. Those major metro areas where we spend a significant portion of our advertising and PR funds comprise 18% of total visitation. And this is just for fun, just showing you where our guests came from, different parts and counties of the state of Texas. And then you can see that we had guests from out of state as well. We also held at the Conference Center the Silver Meltdown, a celebration of our silversmith tradition. We have a lot of metalsmiths that live in Aransas County, and one way we celebrate them is by hosting a fashion and trunk show event. It says their 7th annual, but it really was the 6th annual event, and it was also held at the Conference Center, and we had 203 guests. These are the exhibits that we had in the galleries. We have 5 exhibition spaces in the new facilities that I know most of you have visited. We have 3 curated galleries in the second level, and then we have the gift shop and a members gallery in the first level. These are 2 of the events that we had. One was in the McKelvey Gallery on the left, Mary Genowine from Houston, and then McKay Otto, which received an international promotion through Art Forum and Art Houston. That's just one of the many ads in the HEB Gallery. We also had the Merit Artist Show in the McKelvey Gallery in the month of November into January. And then our biggest show of the year, which took up 3 different galleries, the Big Wave, our all members show, November 24th through January 7th. We spent a total of $17,000 promoting the visual arts program. And that is where the funds went and how much was spent in each one of those funds in a variety of mediums, including print ads. Our art education programs also receiving national press and national promotion through advertisement in magazines such as Plein Air Magazine, Southwest Art. Those are examples of some of those ads directing people to the Texas coast. Our moniker for art education for adults is your creative oasis on the Texas coast. And this is how we spent advertising dollars to promote those workshops and classes and in what publications. This is something the county has underwritten all of 2023 and hoping that you will underwrite again in 2024. I think there's an item in the agenda later today about that, but we had one concert in the last quarter of the year, Tom Kimmel. We had 68 guests, and that's just one of the ads. So thank you very much, Aransas County, for supporting it with hotel motel funds. And one of the reasons we fundraise, free art education for Aransas County children. Happy and confident faces. You see at the conference center, one of the things that we host are ballet classes. And that's just, I think, one of the performances that they put on at the end of the quarter. Here's some additional programs that we do, including culinary arts, art education. As I already talked about, dance classes this summer. We're doing break dancing classes for young children, as well as hip hop culture for young boys. And in the spring, we're going to do a young filmmakers workshop for our teenage population in the high school. And our hope is to build new skill sets, promote food security, encourage children to have positive body images and social interactions with others. In one quarter, we served 2,900 children, and that's the activities of how we served them. And now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Daryl Meadows, who's been on his post as venue manager for The Rock for the past 6 months. Daryl?
Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here today. As Louis says, I've been at the Rock for going on ending my 6th month right now at the end of this month. So I've been very busy with getting bookings in and working with all the clients that we currently have. So there we go. During the months of October through December, we had these are the events that we had. It also shows the attendance and the percentage of visitors that are outside of the 75-mile area for tourism. The social events that we had, the 3 that were there, one was a birthday party, one was an anniversary, and one was a wedding. So I'm very excited about the mix that we have there. We want to do a mix of business, social, and not-for-profit. So these are the areas that we had guests from, which it's interesting. You see all the way up to New York and Illinois. So we have quite a large reach when we have the social events. Our annual advertising. We do $10,000 per year through the digital and print campaigns. And we also do marketing, advertising through, I guess we're the sole underwriter for the advertising for the KEDT, the Great American Recipe. We do a Google search network or Google search engine marketing. And we do that at $48,000 per year. And these are they were in this San Antonio and Austin market. We looked at how the Austin market was performing and determined that we wanted to go to switch over to the Houston market. So we're concentrating now on Houston and San Antonio for our marketing. We change the Google search words periodically to kind of to keep the information fresh and to also make sure that we are getting the type of hits that we want to get. So we'll do corporate retreats, corporate meetings. We'll do weddings. We have like Christmas parties. We'll start changing those to work on our plan to keep the building full all the time. These are the Google search engine marketing summaries for San Antonio.
May I interrupt you just
Oh,
one
sure. Mhm.
Because I wanted to point this out, because we get your reports in the Maritime Museum and then also the Chamber of Commerce.
Mhm.
And that first item on there, the 6.7 click-through rate is really tremendous. So congratulations, that is huge.
Thank you. Yeah, you can see on there the number of clicks that actually made phone calls to the facility to get information or to get pricing. The number of folks that actually went to our website and went to our Book Now program, entered the information. So those are the top performing keywords: event management companies, team building events, and corporate events. So. So you can see there we had a large number of banner impressions where our banner shows up on the website, on the Google website when you go there, and then the number of visits to our website through the digital banner ads. And again, the click-through percentage is much higher than the industry average. This is our Austin campaign. Numbers were still very solid, but not quite as good as San Antonio. So again, 63 calls went straight from the website to click our phone number. And then 83% of the ads showed up in the top positions, with 48% in the very top spot. So we feel like that marketing is working very, very well. Again, this is Austin. This is the number of 5,186 visits to our website from the digital banner ads, with a 0.64% click through, which is again much higher than the industry average. And then 114 clicks on the booking inquiry button on our website through this. So again, we do have a lot of exciting things happening. I have a lot of contacts. I spent the last 12 and a half years at the American Bank Center in Corpus. And so I've worked with a lot of the Texas groups, a lot of the groups that have had meetings all around Texas. We are now getting phone calls from a group. Just got an email last night from a group that wants to have an event here in October that normally meets in Galveston. So because I'm here and I have a relationship with them, I'm able to do that. We've also got a large church group that's wanted to do a multi-day. It's actually a 10-day conference here at the Rock. So we have a lot of exciting things going on. We're attending wedding fairs. We're setting up booths at wedding fairs to try to bolster some of the wedding business that we've been getting. And so a lot of exciting things happening, and I look forward to our next presentation so I can bring information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. I think everybody will agree that he's going to be a tremendous asset for promoting the tourism and hotel industry here in our community. Okay, let's see, where was I? E-commerce report. So, one of the main features of our website is e-commerce. We do a lot of transactions through the website, and this is a report of what happened just in the last quarter, October through December. You could see the percent of, we had $59,000 in unique transactions, a 900% growth over the same quarter last year, which is incredible. Actually, it was almost close to 1,000. And then this is where the transactions came from, pretty much all over the United States and many counties in the state of Texas. This is our website and social media visitation, 23,000 visitors to our website, a 30% increase over the same period last year. You have some graphics that show you across the entire quarter with a really major peak showing up there in the middle of the month of November. And our top device is a mobile telephone. and some additional graphics that you can analyze, and more graphics for social media likes. You know, one of the activities we have is the Art Walk, which happens every second Saturday in Austin Street. And our effort there is to make sure we share, you know, our visitors, our tourism, and our economic development with our downtown neighbors. And we also have a Google digital campaign with Chris TV at the Arts Center. And here are the results. There are some of the ads we were serving up for people from the Houston market in the months of October through December. So that campaign was also very, very successful with a significant click-through rate as compared to the national average. And what we were trying to do is to draw people to the events, to the activities, thus the advertising campaign. Here is some banner ads also in the month of December for one of our shows. Another campaign also for the Houston market. Another campaign also for the Houston market and how it did individually. And then we were also trying to sell tickets using this campaign for the concert that we had last fall. Finally, our Tourism Visitation Center, this is the reason we're here, is to talk about our impact. We had almost 7,000 guests come from October to December. The rubric for visitation is in the green on the bottom, tourism beyond 75 miles, 38% October, 49% in November when we have the film festival, and then 31% in December.
Luis, what was the 12-month attendance? Do you have that?
You know, I haven't compiled that yet. I do that usually when I write grants, and I'm getting ready to write a grant where that's a requirement. I'm happy to bring that to you next quarter, if that's okay.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I'll do a summation of one of the graphics that I'm about to show you for all 4 quarters. And here's the visitation. This is where people came from the quarter, internationally, statewide, nationally, just about every state, including Hawaii. And then we had 152% growth over the same period last year in visitation, 7,600 overnight stays just for the Arts Center, not for the Rock, and then 30% combined digital growth over the same period last year. Here are our guests from out of 75 miles. You can see that we peaked in November for that quarter. And then we show a trend for comparing major metro tourism from outside of Texas, shown in orange on the graphic on the right, and then in gray showing total rural tourism beyond 75 miles. So this is our quarterly impact. We had almost 8,800 visitors combining all of our activities. And when I come back next quarter, I'll bring you all 4 graphics for each quarter. That'll give us a summation of how we did. It will include the art festival. And this is how we spent the funds that you so generously give us to promote all of our activities. We requested $40,000. You gave us $38,000 and we spent all of it. And that is the distribution, how the funds were spent. $3,300 in direct advertising, $3,400 in Sculpture Garden advertising, $7,500 in activities for the art festival, including advertising, $14,000 in promoting exhibitions, and $9,300 promoting the performing arts, making that a sum total of $38,022.28. We don't spend any of your funds in admin expenses except for advertising. We do promote the facilities and what we are offering in a general way. And last year, for the entire year, we spent a total of $13,915 of combined Aransas County and City of Rockport hot funds to promote the facilities in a general way. But all the other expenses that you see there, those are all paid for through our fundraise. And my time is up. Just at the right time.
Oh, right on time.
Sorry I took so long,
You're good.
but it's
Thank
a
you.
really exciting report.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Scottleson.
Aye, passes 5-0.
I move to approve the Texas Maritime Museum's report for the fourth quarter of 2023.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Morning.
I'm Ashley Papriza. I'm the executive assistant at the museum. Unfortunately, our interim director, Tom Rodina, wasn't able to be here today. So I'm just going to do a quick review of our report for you.
Ashley, would you move your mic down? Thank you.
Sorry, I'm too short.
You're fine.
So of course, this finished out our year of 2023. So we have our annual gross attendance numbers in. You can see we had 14,730 visitors for the year. For that fourth quarter, we had 3,169 come in. And then of those, the visitors coming from 75 miles or more out for the year was 5,959. And for this last quarter, we had 1,065 from 75 miles out or more. We do a comparison, 2022 to 23. You can see we did show growth this year. Overall, we had 1,562 more visitors than we showed in 2022. And that change for the fourth quarter was an additional 519 compared to the 2022 numbers we had. This is just a comparison of the last several years' attendance. You can see the last 3 or 4 years, we have shown consistent growth in our attendance numbers. We're working hard to make sure that number keeps going up, but we're pleased to see that we have continued to see an increase in that number. We do track the number and percentage of guests coming from major cities in the state of Texas. You can see that breakdown here. And then also our local numbers. That other you see there, that is rural areas in Texas, as well as out of state and the occasional international visitor that we see come through. And then for our heads and beds, we do break it down not just by number of guests that answer yes, but we do ask that they tell us how many nights they stayed for, and it's broken down that way here for you. You can see aside from, of course, the no's or those that chose not to answer, which is high because of the number of local visitors we see. Our next highest was those that said they stayed for 4 or more nights, 260 for the quarter there. And this is just a breakdown of our expenditures for the fourth quarter by category, as well as for the year. And then do have some photos to show you just of the events that took place during this last quarter. We have our Tiny Tots program every Wednesday, field trips at the museum with the education director. We do family craft days. And then in October, we had our Harbor Haunts event, which saw record attendance this year. We had 1,100 people come through for Harbor Haunts this year, which is an increase of about 200 compared to 2022. And then here are our family craft days, more field trips. Some local community events that the museum was involved in are pictured here. Tropical Christmas and Fulton Mansion's Victorian Christmas we were a part of. And then our Christmas Gala this year. We had some very successful events go on in this last quarter. We were very pleased with our attendance numbers for those. So that is all I have for you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Terrific results. Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Scottleson.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 7.
I move to approve the presentation of the annual report on profiling to the Commissioners Court as required by Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, sections 2.131-2.38.
Second.
We got a motion, a second. It was actually 2.138. Did you say 1? Okay.
I didn't say one.
You're right. Okay, 2.138. Got a motion, got a second. Rance County Sheriff.
Like I said, this presented to you. You should have a copy. It's in 2 parts. Front part is just the numbers of the stops. The second part actually breaks it down in percentages for you, so you don't have to do the math yourself. it can be viewed and read in a lot of different ways, but state statute does require that I bring you a report showing how many stops we did make. This includes the activity we did on grants, routine patrol, and even stops that we made responding to complaints about driving behavior on the highway. Shows percent of how many receive citations, and it breaks it down by gender and race. Look at it a bunch of different ways, depends on how you want to cut the pie. One half of the report is it is tracking all the stops, but they've never asked within your report, what is the makeup of your department? Which I think would be the other half, if you're wanting to look at it and make some contention about discrimination or a bias. But it's provided to y'all to look at and determine whether or not you have questions. Shows, like I said, total stops, breaks it down, citations, searches, weapons, arrest. Pretty thorough report. And I think there's 9,000 stops in there over the year. But it shows gives you reading material to look at and mull it over. If you have any questions, I'll attempt to try to answer them.
I just have one question.
Yes.
And it looks like we're doing a fine job in representation of the community. Under the pre-existing knowledge, does that mean perhaps other law enforcement agencies have asked you to be on the alert for a vehicle or something?
Could
I wasn't
have.
sure what that meant.
It could be that, or it could be a complaint from a citizen.
Okay.
We may have gotten a call that we had a disturbance at a house and in en route, they left in a certain car and they've told us who they are or description of them in direction of travel.
Okay.
That could be the stop as well, or it could be an agency request to be on the lookout. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. No further questions. Let's go and call for a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Costa.
Aye, passes 5-0. Thank you, Sheriff. Item number 8.
Move to approve the conceptual plan for Dara's Estates, a subdivision proposed by Ocean Glory Homes to replat 1101 Cape Valero Drive.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning.
Good morning. It has been a minute, I believe, since a concept plan and a final plat were presented at the same meeting. And since we have 2 for this meeting, I just wanted to briefly discuss why.
That's
Normally,
what I was going to ask.
so as per our regulations in the state code, a major plat is when you have to create new infrastructure or when there are more than 4 lots. So these plats do not require new infrastructure because they have sized the lots in order to accommodate the existing utilities, and they are on existing paved right-of-ways or public right-of-ways, excuse me. And is only because of the number of lots. So the concept plan can be at the same time considered and voted on at the same time as the final plat, as long as it's right before. We still require a concept plan for major plats, which is why they are still submitted with it. But there are no issues in the review. But I'd be happy to take any other questions.
When you just said that, maybe I misunderstood what you said, but you said there were 2 reasons that it was either the first reason, infrastructure. I thought you said the second reason would be if there were 4 or more lots.
Correct. And there are more than 4 lots on both the Daria Estates subdivision and Lynn's Landing. And so that is why there's a concept plan in addition to a final plat that's being considered today.
Okay. And perhaps I just misunderstood. I thought you were saying that was when we would not look at the conceptual plan and the final plat at the same court meeting.
I apologize. I meant that if it was 4 or less lots, there would not be a requirement to have a concept plan with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye for the conceptual plan.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
and Judge Costa.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 9.
Move to approve the final plat for Daria Estates, a subdivision proposed by Ocean Glory Homes to replat 1101 Cape Valero Drive.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? And now this is approving the final.
Yes, sir. This will allow the owner to file and to be able to start selling the lots.
Kat, what was the size of the original piece of property?
The total size, 3.974 acres, almost 4 acres.
I noticed that you wrote on here that the access, all proposed lots will front on Cape Valero Drive, an existing public right of way.
Yes,
And I think the county maintains that road, does it not?
yes, ma'am.
And I know that that new subdivision, and I can't remember the name of it, but the ranch that the gentleman was here,
Last meeting?
yes. Those are all going to exit onto Cape Valero Road. Is there any kind of study that's done on how much traffic that road can handle?
So the access point for the new Lucas Ranch subdivision will be off Eller Lane. And so it will be off of a separate right of way from this is an existing right of way. And the subdivision plan for the new Lucas Ranch subdivision has a new right of way that they're working on constructing. And so it will be accessible off of Eller Lane. The property owners that already own lots on the west side of Cape Valero Drive will now have a new access road behind them.
Have they been informed of that?
Yes, they have. Okay.
And Cape Valero Drive is 60-foot right away, am I
Yes, sir.
correct?
That was originally a private road, but it was later adopted by the county.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Against, and I'll say it's because I don't approve of the conceptual plan and the final plat at the same meeting.
Thank you.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Yes, aye.
and Judge Garza.
Aye. It passes 4-1. Item number 10.
Move to approve the conceptual plan for Lynn's Landing, a subdivision proposed by Gene and Mona Robertson to replat 1702 Farm Road, 1781.
I'll second it.
I'm curious, have a tree survey and tree plan been completed on this? Because looking at this on the computer and what you gave us, it appears that there are trees.
Yes, ma'am. And each lot will be an acre. And so each lot, when they get ready to start permitting, they will have to submit to environmental health for a tree plan if they intend on developing with tree removal.
And there may not be any oak trees on that property. So that kind of affects that. How about when you, in this replat, it was kind of fine at it, I couldn't read it. Did you get more right of way for the
There
Bedford
is.
Lane on that side?
There is additional right of way. There's 14-foot, 14-foot additional roadway easement that's included in the replat.
It was for what? now?
A roadway easement,
No.
Bedford Lane.
Bedford Lane
Yes,
is a
right.
narrow road, and normally when we replat, they ask if you're on one side, they ask you to do half to bring it
Right.
up to 60-foot right of way.
Right.
And I apologize for any confusion. There is no issues with running a concept plan or a preliminary plat at the same meeting as the final plat, as long as the concept plan is approved before the final plat. And it's the main reason that they're separated is so that the developer has the opportunity to either get financial sureties filed or to build the right of way or build the new infrastructure. So normally the requirement to have them in separate meetings is to provide that time for the developer to either build the infrastructure or to file financial sureties for the infrastructure. And so that's why they're at the same meeting. Is there's no, since the infrastructure is already existing, that requirement, that time period is not required.
All right, thank you. Gonna call for a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
All right, passes 5-0. Item number 11.
Move to approve the final plat for Lynn's Landing, a subdivision proposed by Gene and Mona Robertson to replat 1702 FM 1781.
I'll second it.
Got a motion, got a second. This is the final. There any more questions?
I would like, I know that Commissioner Casterline asked about the easements. And the note on here, access all proposed lots front on Tedford Lane, an existing public right of way. Would you restate what you just said there about the easements, that they'll be expanded?
They included additional easement width for the roadway. The county now requires a 60-foot right-of-way. At the time that Tedford Lane was first constructed, it was not that size. So for these new lots, there is additional roadway easement so that if and when the county is able to do improvements to that public right-of-way, they will meet the county standard.
Thank you.
And previously, all of the other people on Tedford Lane made an effort to try to widen the road, but the previous property owner of this one piece of property wouldn't do it, so the deal didn't go, so. And, you know, it's a different owner of the property that subdivided.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Nay.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Gladstone.
Aye, passes 4-1. Item number 12.
I move to approve the final plat for Lynn's Landing, a subdivision proposed by Gene and Mona Robertson to replat 1702.
12.
12, I'm
Well,
sorry.
Bob,
I'm sorry. I move to approve the request for variance on county minimum lot size requirements to replat 2 lots into 1 at 2016 and 2018 Hardy Street.
second.
Got a motion, got a second?
I have a question. Is this the action against which a couple of citizens spoke?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
But I can provide any information on those permits if, after the meeting, if you'd like.
But this is on the same street.
No,
we're talking about.
they were on
No,
Hickory.
ma'am.
Oh, Hickory, okay.
And this is they're just going to combine the 2 lots, right?
Yes, sir. This is just a combination of 2 older lots to go from less compliant to more compliant for septic reasons.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Gladstone.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 13.
Move to approve the sheriff's office applying for 2 grants through the office of the governor, rifle resistant body armor grant and bullet resistant shield grant.
Second that.
Got a motion, got a second? Deputy Chief Brooks, good morning.
Good morning. You have any questions on this?
Will the auditor's office work with the sheriff's office in the compliance with these grant requirements?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, and did Lone Star Strategies work with us to help identify this?
No, ma'am. Lone Star Strategies, they actually have not executed their contract because it was dependent upon the NAV district executing.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Just to be
Judge.
clear, there's no cost to the county on this, correct?
I don't believe so. This is just an application. We have to, once we go through the application, we'll get all the final say on it.
Okay, so you would come back to the court.
Yes, sir.
All right, call for a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Gladstone.
All right, passes 5-0. Item number 14.
I move to approve adopting the Aransas County Civil Rights Policy, responding to discrimination complaints as required for the federal state grant programs.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second?
This is something that we have learned that we need to have in place with all of these grants that we do, specifically like the Stone Garden, any of the criminal justice grants, possibly even the ones that they're applying for now that were approved. It's just a policy that we have to have on our civil rights, the section 405 and disabled persons for fair housing. We do a fair housing month, but this will actually be a policy that we have in place. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We've got this policy says the Aransas County Judge will serve as the civil rights officer for complaints. And if it is something that is within the employees, then it would go through HR.
I was going to ask who the complaint coordinator is. So it'll either be the judge or it'll be HR.
HR, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick, and Judge Gladstone.
Aye. It is passing 4-0. Commissioner Dupnick stepped out. No, we're going forward. I'm number 15.
I move to approve authorizing Judge Garza to send a cure notice to Teal Construction Company regarding the substantial completion dates for the Aransas County Court.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second?
Can you tell-
we-
Can you tell me, what is meant by the cure notice?
So this is issued to Teal, and basically it's for Teal to answer and to get back on track, I guess. We are behind schedule, and the intent is to, just get back on track.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
We still voting on item 14,
No, 15.
15?
The cure notice.
What?
Did you have any questions? I'm sorry.
Are you voting to approve this?
Yes, sir.
After reading their handout that we had this weekend, that they gave to us Friday, I wish we'd had more time at the workshop to look into that and discuss it. So I'm gonna vote nay.
Okay.
Judge Goddison.
Aye, passes 4-1. Item number 16.
I move to approve authorizing Judge Garza to send a letter of concern to PGAL regarding design errors and omissions.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second? As Commissioner Dupnick stated, last Friday, we had a workshop concerning the construction of the courthouse. Some of these things were discussed, such as design errors, and this is just to serve upon the designer, PGAL, and to get them back on track. Any other questions? All right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Goddison.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 17.
I move to approve authorizing the county treasurer to apply for and receive the 2024 distribution of proceeds from the Tobacco Settlement Fund from the Texas Department of State Health Services based on the county's unreimbursed healthcare expenditures for calendar year 2023, and to further discuss, approve, or and to further approve the use of any funds received by the established Aransas County Tobacco Awareness Program.
Morning. I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Good morning.
So we get this money every year. We don't know how much it's going to be, but it's usually been running in the $20,000 to $25,000 range. Last year we got 29,000. So we established a program that Laura Rios works with the not the high school, all schools for their tobacco awareness. And so we're gonna try to do more for the general public also, since we have so much money to spend. So if you have any questions for her on the program, she's here.
Hello, I'm Laura Rios, juvenile case manager.
Do we have any idea how much longer this grant's gonna go on? Is this gonna be a long-term, many-year grant, or do we have any idea, any concept?
The settlement money that they got years ago, I don't remember, it's in 1998, they did a big disbursement that year, and then they like invested the rest of it so that they could continue every year. And what they're paying out, from what I assume, is the interest that they make on their investment. So there's still plenty of money sitting there.
Okay.
Don't know how long they'll keep doing it though.
Thank you. All right, let's call for a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Goddison.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 18.
I move to approve authorizing the Community Development Director to request redesign of the proposed aquarium at Rockport Harbor plans to include 2 ADA restrooms for aquarium visitors.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, Ms. L.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Judge. So the aquarium was one of the most visited when it was open, one of the most visited attractions in the community. So the small bathroom, which you can see in the back house and the back documents that I gave to you, is not going to be sufficient when we have large groups. So we would like to go back, have an architect go ahead and redesign, putting in 2 ADA bathrooms, one for male, one for female.
I understand that a lot of times in the past, students would come in, classes would come in with educators. Is this going to allow the educators to be able to monitor or see the students at all times? Will they be in the same global room, or will they have to go into another?
For the restrooms?
Yeah.
Well,
Initially, the plan was for them to have to walk down a walkway, right? And to go into the.
Aquarium Education Center.
right, in
into
the
adjacent-
backside.
Right, that's not the plan anymore.
That's not the plan
Okay,
anymore.
You're
Yep,
just
this
gonna
is
kind of build up against it.
correct.
Okay.
Are we still gonna have, this is not exactly there, but we still gonna have the ramp that goes all the way from one building to the other?
Yes, we'll still have the
Is it-
decking.
is it-
It's
yeah.
proposed that we're just going to do a little bump out, so we'll take away from some of that decking area to use for the restrooms.
Well, and it's not covered, right?
The decking, no, it is not covered.
Okay. It's not a covered walkway.
No, it is not.
Okay.
I have one concern. The volunteer group that has managed the aquarium was so adamantly against putting restrooms in there. I'm concerned that maybe they might just say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore. Because
May I-
they were just really adamant about not wanting restrooms in.
May I speak to that?
Sure.
I'm good friends with some of the former volunteers. I used to serve on that board when the aquarium was here. Those volunteers maintained and cleaned that bathroom at the time. And I visited with Judge and Public Facilities Director, and that will not be the case. This time the aquarium will be maintained as other county buildings are, and we won't ask the volunteers to go in and clean the restrooms. But
Correct.
that was their real concern.
Yeah, that was their largest objection, was having to clean these public restrooms.
All right. Well, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Gus.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 19.
I move to approve authorizing the Community Development Director to request remodeling quotes of the Aquarium Education Center to accommodate additional space needed for the expansion of the aquarium at Rockport Harbor's plans to include the 2 ADA restrooms for aquarium visitors.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second.
Okay, so in either way, how it was going to get voted on, but I'm glad you voted on the restrooms. There was going to be a bump out in front of the Education Aquarium System Center. So the signage would have to be removed. There's an AC that may need to be removed or relocated, I'm sorry. And then the siding would need to be redone in that area, along with the window. So if we bump into the window, of course, the window will have to be removed. And then inside we will have to do some repairs to our drywall. And then as long as we're doing all of that, we decided that we should probably go ahead and look at what kind of data is in there so that we can have computer access, Wi-Fi inside that building.
Thank you. There are no questions. Going to vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Gus.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 20.
Move to approve establishing employee of the month beginning January 2024. Where the employee would be recognized that the Commissioners Court received a designated parking space, receive a certificate, and be posted the monthly employee newsletter. Recommendations would be sent to Human Resources, and a committee would select the most outstanding employee.
All right, got a motion. Do I have a second? I'll go and second that.
I would
Oh.
like to ask to amend this to change it to an employee of the quarter. I think to recognize outstanding employees is a wonderful idea, and as former HR person and the HR director here, I certainly support that concept. However, I think we have around maybe 220 to 250 employees. Probably not every employee is going to get it, but if we're doing one a month, in 2.5 years, we would have run the gamut. I think an employee of the quarter then allows the award to maybe have more significance. If you get a designated parking space, it would be nice to have it for a quarter. The recommendations, we're saying we're going to start this in January 2024. It's already the 22nd of 2024. And I don't know the criteria have been developed. It says a committee would select the most outstanding employee. I didn't see anything that talked about the criteria, and I think some thought needs to go into what the criteria would be for the selection of this person. So I support the concept. I would just propose changing it to employee of the quarter, possibly to start in March 2024. That way the criteria could be developed, the committee could be named, and submissions could be done in a timely fashion without rushing.
I support the main purpose of this, but my question is, one of the things you say about a designated parking space, we've always from the airport, the tax office, facilities management, all these different departments, road and bridge, we've got all these different groups. And where, yeah, that's not really a practical solution necessarily. It looks like it's basically focused on employees at the courthouse, and it's not inclusive of, when you say a designated parking space, it may not be inclusive of all the employees in our county.
It would be. We discussed that at the meeting, that it would be
It's
a
not on
parking
here.
space that moved. We discussed a lot of the details. I mean, I can give y'all further details. So it'd be a mobile parking space that like it moves. It's going to be in a bucket with cement. Road and Bridge could help us make the sign, and it would go to wherever that employee is. So whichever department. So it's inclusive of everybody.
Okay, thank you.
And it starts January. So we're giving them the whole entire month, the whole month for that employee to be doing something outstanding that anybody can recommend. And I was going to send an email about this out to all department heads and every employee. Actually, I can send on an inter-office memo on the details and criteria. So it would begin after January 31st.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a concern. I've been involved with some companies that had employee of the month. And to be quite honest with you, that ended up being more of a political game than anything else. And that wasn't even in public politics. But whenever I was with Phillips Petroleum, they had employee of the month. They finally got rid of that because it always seemed like it came back to the same people all the time, because the point of it is who's outstanding and who's, well, you know, if you have a group of 20 accountants and you have 2 that are outstanding, do you just swap employee of the month or what? I don't think that is I don't think that's something that we really need to get into. I think it's more complicated, but I understand the concept and appreciate the concept, but it can really cause problems.
And this concept or idea was brought forth from the benefits committee. Just so you know. All right, so we've got a motion on the floor. Should we table this and look further into it as far as go back to the committee and discuss maybe a quarterly and get more details?
I mean, I can send you out more details. I can send you all what we discussed. And that-
I'll withdraw my motion to approve.
I'll withdraw my amendment and move to table this till we get more information. Is that good?
Yes.
Commissioner
Motion
Commissioner
on the
Cheney,
floor is to table.
Aye.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dubnik,
Aye.
Judge Gus.
Aye. Passes the table 5-0. Item number 21.
On number 21, I move to table the changes for the job descriptions on several departments. Notes changes are for duties, no change in pay, updated job descriptions requested by Judge Garza to prepare for a salary study. And I think this is a great idea. My concern is, I believe there are 29 job descriptions that we received. And to be honest, I looked through my packet pretty thoroughly. Looking through 29 job descriptions, and there wasn't something that showed what had been added, deleted, or changed from the previous job description. And I understand that the different departments sent these in to HR.
Yes, that's correct.
And I would just like, I'm not against doing this. I think this is a good idea and probably very necessary. And it would be nice if once they are changed, they all have the same look, logo, setup to them. But I
Yes,
would,
it was on our agenda
Okay.
to reformat it, but I wanted to get the content to y'all.
all right, thank you. But I would like to table it and ask if it could come back next court. And the departments could let us know what changes they made to their job descriptions.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, got a second.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 22.
I'll move to table. Well,
I don't think we don't need to.
okay, then I move to approve a request to solicit a request for proposals for a salary study conducted to collect and analyze data on wages and salaries. The purpose of the salary survey is to help employers and employees understand what different jobs pay in different geographic areas and identify trends in wage and salary levels. But I'd also like to add that we'd have the revised job descriptions prior to that.
I'll second that, but add to it, be careful what you wish for.
Got a motion?
You know, that also, you really could tie 21 and 22 together to some degree, because we really need to look at all of the job descriptions. You know, we have 220 some odd employees, and a lot of the job descriptions are similar, but a lot of them are not. And I would suggest that before we do anything with either one of these, that we have a chance to look at what jobs are actually out there. I don't mean to cause a lot of trouble to your extra expense, but I've been on the court 16 years and I've never seen a full, complete job description of all the employees.
Well, in the fall, the HR department sent job descriptions out to every department head and had them review them. We gave them until January 15th to review, revise, and let us know if anything needed to be added.
Okay, but that doesn't bring it to the court.
You want to see all the job descriptions for every employee?
Not every individual, but if you have like truck driver,
Yes.
you know, what is different between a dump truck driver and a forklift driver? You know, that sort of thing. You just don't want to say driver. But we're probably in pretty good shape, but you know, that's our biggest expense, you know, as far as monthly expense goes. And it needs to be, we need to have a good working knowledge of what all the jobs are. Not necessarily who's in the job, but what's the job about. I mean, look at the sheriff's office. I mean, you know, he has several different departments there and he has job descriptions for each of the departments. Road and Bridge does the same thing, but the court hasn't seen all that stuff. And I think the court needs to do that.
Commissioner,
Maybe you should just go in the HR and sit down, because that's a pretty daunting job to go through that. I mean,
Well,
they do it on a daily basis. I mean, you're talking about, you could have a day-long meeting looking at every job description in the county.
I got it, Dave.
Well,
Commissioner, the
sit out
job-
in their office and read through them.
the job descriptions were in the packet. It's about,
All the job descriptions.
yes, sir. All, that's what
The
we got.
changed ones.
The changed ones. Oh, okay. We got to
Yeah.
approve these before we could do a salary study. But right now the motion on the floor is for request for proposal for a salary study.
I'll withdraw my motion. And move to table.
Do I have a second to table?
Second.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
All right, I'm gonna go and say aye.
Could I add one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate the work that HR has already done to bring these.
Absolutely.
And perhaps what you could do is either just give us a list of what the job descriptions are for the departments, and if the department heads or elected officials don't submit those, then we'll just look at what the job titles are and go from there, along with whatever these changes are. Rather than maybe getting a notebook that's, several hundred pages of all the different job descriptions. Is that good?
Yes, so you just want a list of every department with every job description and just submit the ones that are changed.
That's fine.
I think that would be a good thing to see, because I think what Commissioner Cheney is saying is just to make sure that there are differentiations. I know we have like mosquito truck drivers, and then we have other truck drivers that are out at Road and Bridge, and those are different job descriptions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item number 23.
Move to approve budget line item transfer.
I'll second it.
We have none at this time. But they are coming.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 24.
I move to approve the accounts payable and payroll/payroll liabilities.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second.
All of them are normal. This one is split between some are 23s and 24s. So, but y'all won't necessarily see that except maybe in the last back pages. I would like to identify some of the capital improvements that we've done. Mont McDonald had an invoice of $216 for the Little Bay feasibility study, which is winding down.
$216.
$216, yes, ma'am. It's winding down and it's just some of the final paperwork and
thank you.
stuff. Gerke Excavation has an invoice or a couple of invoices possibly for Linden of $1,755,119.53. LCR has invoices for 1781 Holiday Beach and Southwest Aransas County project. These are the road and drainage projects for $1,297,205.57. Anderson Columbia, which is doing the Ruby Allen project. They have an invoice of $207,145.40. For the ARPA funds, we have an invoice for EDOC, which is the district clerk's records of $138,049.75. The courthouse project, we have invoices from Broadus for $30,760.96. We had another invoice for wall mounts for TVs in the new courthouse of $2,037. Those are the main projects that we have right now that have invoices. If you have any questions.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Now we will move to, yes, we're gonna move on to item number 1, which is a proclamation
Yep.
for the Purple Heart.
We're gonna go into the cake, so we wait till after these other.
After the reports.
Yeah. I would like. Maybe if you're gonna have cake and stuff, we're here, we're normally we would be here.
Okay, well, we gotta read it. Let them know. I don't read it. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 1, the Purple Heart County. But I do want to acknowledge some of the Purple Heart recipients that are in the audience. Mr. Felix Jimenez, Purple Heart recipient. Is he here? Oh, he went outside. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. They'll be fast. Maybe these two will be fast. Okay, well, while we're waiting, we're just gonna move on to section 11 real quick. Reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads. Yeah.
I'd like to speak first to what the ladies brought up about the lots in Oak Terrace. I've lived in Oak Terrace for almost 50 years. When Oak Terrace started out, it was Oak Street and Pine Street. As a developer developed Hickory and Redwood Streets, they were added to the subdivision. I have seen in the past the restrictions on all of them. And it appears that when they added Redwood and Hickory, they did another set of deed restrictions. I'm not sure myself if they're the same. I have seen one time the complete packet, and it's an enormous packet with the add-ons of when those streets. So I would be careful reading them that you have the right ones. Now, in the subdivision for many years, we had an active homeowners association. They fought against people having businesses in the buildings that didn't meet with it. After many years, they had such a hard time getting people to take part. It just went away. When the deal came up about the lots, I went to Road and Bridge and talked to CAD, and I went to the county attorney, and they both said, we don't enforce deed restrictions. Since the time that there has been an active homeowners association, there are multiple violations or buildings that were not built to the deed restrictions. I brought that up to the county attorney's office, and they said, if the deed restrictions have been, if the precedent's been set, it's probably been done years ago, because under the deed restrictions, you can't build a metal building. You can't operate a business in the subdivision, and those kind of things have been going on for years.
Just go to my mic. I spoke to an attorney though, and he said that as long as there's not a 10% violation, that it can still be in effect. And there are no residences that have been built on less than 100 feet.
Right.
So that I know, like, so there may be outbuildings put on somebody's lot. There may be some of those things, but as far as residences, they have always maintained. And if you look at the plat, like I showed, every one of them has at least 100 feet. Many of them have even lots that extend into the next street. No one has divided into less than 100. And that's really what we're really trying to ensure, is that plus the fact that he is trying to, they're turning into rentals, where this is basically a residential neighborhood.
I think for us to do it, it's going to have to come before the court, and I'll put on the next agenda, an agenda item for the court to decide to start enforcing deed restrictions. And if you'd like, I don't have a problem. And that way the
I
court
would
can
love
make up the
that.
whole time.
It's concerning. I mean, my heart breaks for the woman that is beside that. She made a lot of changes to her home, lost her husband in July, now is faced with possibly having 2 tiny houses put beside her. And I myself have lost my husband, have lots across, and cannot afford to legally fight this, but it's heartbreaking. And the fact that that we all just want to maintain our neighborhood. We're not trying to ask for anything special, just keep not turn it into little tiny rentals everywhere.
All right.
And also no garage, nowhere to park. So we end up with them on. I've had my mailbox knocked off a number of times when my husband would put it back on. So there's not a lot of space. We've got gutters, basically. So, it's concerning.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll look further into it. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gear, do you have something?
I'll be brief. Previously, I'd asked the commissioners for permission to request bids for some asphalt work at the airport around the T hangars. You'll recall the next court brought the bids in and requested to move forward with the lowest bid of 17,500. And the more that we've taken a look at this project, we'd initially scoped 8 feet to be folded up on two sides of one of the hangars. And I think it at that point, we really need to have a closer look at that elevation. I think the water is going to run back toward that hangar. I think we need to do more than just the 8 feet. And at that point, it really becomes an issue of, shouldn't we just go ahead and access a larger grant that we do have available to us? It's called the BIL, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law Grant. It's a 5-year grant. So there's increments of money over 5 years. We've got 3 years of money in the bank. It's plenty of money for this project. It's a 10% match. So that's 17,500, as opposed to spending all that and being going after the ramp grant with it. We could use that for match money on this larger deal. And really, we could address all the pavement issues in the hangar parking area all at once. And there's the state participation would be that essentially the state aviation department would administer it for us. We wouldn't have to do any of the heavy lifting. We just need to provide them with a letter of interest and an opinion of cost. So we can kind of know what to square away from that bipartisan infrastructure law grant money.
So you'll have it on the next agenda?
It should be on the next agenda. I need to talk with my state planner at aviation to determine exactly how they want to see the information presented to them, but I believe it's just an LOI and an opinion of cost. But I need to dig a little deeper on what that opinion of cost is. Can that be county engineer do that, or do we need to go out and pay somebody to do it? I don't know. That's the airport thing, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on that. And I had one as the emergency manager. Wanted to let the commissioners know that during the freeze last weekend and early last week, the Fulton Community Church opened their doors as a warming center. 6 Aransas County citizens were able to spend the night in their facility and stay out of the cold weather. They were only open 2 nights. I don't think there was a need for a 3rd night based on what they were telling me. I don't think they had any unmet needs. Did they ask you for blankets, Alma? So they didn't have any unmet needs, but we certainly had folks ready to donate and give in the event that they did. So I just wanted to bring it to the commissioners, get it in the minutes that's what happened. And certainly not holding them to it going forward, but it's certainly nice to know that we have a community and a group of people that were willing to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Anybody else? Oh, we got 2 more. All right.
I just wanted to bring up again, during the freeze, we did a shout out, and luckily Channel 6 News actually came as well, and we did a shout out to try to get fosters for dogs. And we had a pig, and we were lucky to get 8 dogs out to fosters and the pig to a foster. And not only did it have such a big impact with the community that we were able to get all those dogs picked up and in fosters, none of the animals had to be outside. We were adequately able to have them all inside and have them warm and safe. But 3 of those animals actually got forever homes out of it. So it was pretty nice. And I just wanted to do another big shout out for the community for coming and helping. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Good work.
So,
Hello, Commissioners, Judge. I'm not sure how long I'll be Director of Environmental Health, so I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, just for future, for thinking about what's going to happen in 2024. So Environmental Health is also in charge with litter abatement. And so when our guys are not busy at the transfer station, they do go out and we get calls about what needs to be picked up, a couch, trash, of course, the RVs that are on the side of the road. So in 2023, Aransas County transfer station picked up over $4,500 worth of litter, miscellaneous items on the side of the road. And that does include those 2 RVs. I mean, well, we had 3. The city of Rockport paid for the one that we all call Bypass Betty. But the other 2 were paid for by the transfer station. And so that, knowing that the transfer station is self-supporting, $4,500 coming out of our budget is quite significant as far as fuel, really vehicle repairs. I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. In January, we only had one ticket. In February, we had 2 tickets. But since then, it was pretty significant how much. So, we do things like for the school bonfire, we took their garbage. And so that was about $1,491. We do have a request for the A&H show over in Sinton to drop off a dumpster over there, which will come out of the transportation's budget. So when that trash comes back, we'll be the ones who suck up that cost for that department. So I just wanted you guys to be aware that the community is benefiting by the transfer station and what they do with that, our monies. And I feel like in the future that possibly that money should come back to the transfer station out of the abatement funds that are out of environmental health and go into the transfer station. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and also, I'm sorry. I did want to thank facilities for getting up our signage, which has our new fees and our holidays. And also Road and Bridge for always providing us with, the reclaimed asphalt and doing a great equipment swap with me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks. Sheriff? Thanks.
Just wanted to announce to the court, some of y'all were aware last Thursday when I left that meeting at Halls and Tulls. Jail Commission showed up last Thursday for their inspection unannounced, and want to pass on to the court that we have completed our 16th consecutive passing score with the jail. This one was noteworthy, I think, in that it was done so fast. By the time I got up there at about 10:30 or 11, he was wrapping up and finishing because the records that he needed were all available. He commended the staff for having the stuff readily available and didn't have to go looking for whatever he was wanting to see. But we have passed the last jail inspection and moving forward. Y'all know.
Good job.
Good job. Thank you,
Good job,
Sheriff.
Armando.
Thank. And good job, Renee, on getting that building looking nice. All right, now we'll move on to item number 1, to the Purple Heart recipients, and I'll go through the veterans in attendance that received their Purple Hearts. Mr. Felix Jimenez, Purple Heart recipient. Good morning, sir. Mr. Arthur Mann, Purple Heart recipient with 2 oak leaf cluster.
I think I'm going to stand for these.
Right. Joe Martinez, Purple Heart recipient. Do we have Natalie Yost, Purple Heart recipient with 1 oak leaf cluster? Patrick Money? All right, Purple Heart recipient with 1 oak leaf cluster. Larry Helms, I saw him here earlier. Okay, I think he's gone, but Purple Heart. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. 2 oak leaf cluster. Then we got Steve Buck, Purple Heart recipient. That's the list I have. Are there more?
Is Arthur Mann here? Yes.
Yep, he's there.
Okay. Larry Helms? Is there a Larry Helms?
He was there earlier.
Yeah, I think he had to leave.
Okay. That's all I have.
Sergeant Major, can you tell us the significance of the 2 oak leaf cluster and the 1 oak leaf cluster?
Okay, when you get wounded.
I'll get you on mic.
Where at?
There you go.
No,
Can't hear, but they can't tell.
Right here.
The significance of the oak leaf cluster is you get wounded one time, you get the Purple Heart. When you get wounded a second time, you get a Purple Heart with an oak leaf cluster. That means you've been wounded twice. Okay, so you have veterans in here that have been wounded 3 times in combat. Some people will go their whole career and they've been to war 4 or 5 times, but they've never been wounded. But then you'll have these gunfighters out here, right? And they'll get wounded once or twice or 3 times, right? There's World War II veterans that I've met that have since passed that had 5 or 6. All right, so it means that you've been wounded more than once in combat. It's not a free ticket home like in the movies. I'm wounded, I can go home now. No, it means they got better and they went back. All right, anyway.
All right,
Am I good, Commander Schuyler? All right.
we'll have go and read the, oh, can I have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Okay, this is Commander Schuyler of the Purple Heart, Medal of the Purple Heart Association out of Corpus Christi. He's going to read, sorry, the proclamation. Okay. Oh, can I say one more thing? I want to thank Commissioner Rousseau. She's the one that brought this up to me. I honestly didn't know about it until she brought it up. Well, one of her constituents brought it up to her. She brought it up to me. Ms. Rousseau has always been very questionable and asked about things with the veterans and has also complimented me on my speaking. So thank you. So
When
she-
you've done a good job.
There you go, Commander.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Skylar Barker. I'm the commander for the military of the Purple Heart in Corpus Christi. With me is my colleague, Ryan Morris. He's my adjutant. I'm going to say a few words. As the commander of the military of the Purple Heart, it's my great honor and privilege to stand here before you today as we make Aransas County a Purple Heart County. The Purple Heart is a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and selflessness. It is awarded to those who have been wounded or made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of our nation and the ideals we hold dear. These brave men and women who have shed their blood in the service to our country embody the very spirit of patriotism and valor. By declaring Aransas County a Purple Heart County, we not only pay tribute to the countless individuals who have been wounded or killed in combat, but we also demonstrate our unwavering support for all veterans and their families. This designation serves as a visible reminder of the sacrifices made by our military personnel and their enduring contributions to our freedom and security. By becoming a Purple Heart County, Aransas County will join a nationwide network that have committed to honoring and supporting our veterans, and recognition sends a powerful message of gratitude and respect to those who have borne the burden of battle and suffered the wounds of war. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for taking this opportunity to becoming a Purple Heart County. And just remember that we always owe a debt of gratitude to our Purple Heart recipients and all that have served in the armed forces. And with that, I will read the proclamation. Proclamation Paul 01-2024, recognizing Aransas County as a Purple Heart County. Whereas the citizens of Aransas County have a great admiration and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served their country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas veterans have paid the high price of freedom by leaving their families and communities and placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women from Aransas County who have served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas many men and women in uniform have given their lives while serving in the armed forces. And whereas many citizens of our community have earned the Purple Heart as a result of being wounded while engaged in combat with an enemy force, constructed as singular meritorious act of essential service. And whereas January 22nd, 2024 has officially been designated as a day in Aransas County to remember and recognize veterans who are recipients of the Purple Heart. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Aransas County hereby proclaims Aransas County as a Purple Heart County, honoring the service and sacrifice of our nation's men and women in uniform, wounded or killed by the enemy while serving to protect the freedoms enjoyed by all Americans.
Thank you. Call for a vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
An honored aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
and Judge Garza.
Aye, passes unanimous. All right. Well. Okay. If the veterans would like to come up and take a photo with the proclamation.
Could Mike maybe just go there rather than?
Oh, okay,
Mike
yeah.
Wilson?
Okay.
Ruben, maybe they could stay where they are
Okay.
and Mr. Skylar could go there and Mike could come around. If you want us to go behind him, we could.
Yeah, want, yeah. It's kind of big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll let them.
we'll let them.
What about the other veterans who came to acknowledge them also? Could they be included in the bag?
Guys. MSD, where you at? Get up in the picture. I forgot to announce that the memorial service attachment is the only traveling burial that goes and does funerals for its deceased veterans, not just in Aransas County. We've got the detail several times already. And they're here to support.
Thank you for coming today.
All right, thank you. Yes. Yes, yeah, we're doing now. Oh,
And we need to sign
Tracy,
it.
yeah, Tracy, we got to get the proclamation. We'll start with one. There's 3 things we got to sign. Yes, yes. Let's move to adjourn and then, yeah.
I move to recess court for 15 minutes and then we'll reconvene into closed session.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second to reconvene. I'm sorry, to adjourn court for about 15 minutes. Because we still got to go to a closed session item, but there's some cake up here that everybody's welcome to.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Cheney,
Yes.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
And Judge Gottison.
Aye. All right. All right, are we rolling? We are, okay. We are back from recess and the only further business we have is to go into closed session. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Got a motion? Got a second? Your mic.
And the door's open.
Commissioner Cheney,
No.
Commissioner Casterline, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Carson.
Aye. All right, we'll be heading into closed session. Go ahead and close the doors and
But you have to.
But we need a motion to come out of closed session.
Yes. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second that.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, we are now in open session. And the court will like to discuss matters that were discussed in closed session. David, if you want to come up to the podium. What? Oh, do we need a motion? Oh, we're not
Go
gonna
back
take any
into open
action. We're just gonna discuss.
Oh, okay.
So it is my intent to retire.
Mike's not on.
There you go.
It is my intention to retire. I'm looking for an exit plan and working with the court to make that happen.
All right. I appreciate it. Do the commissioners have any questions or comments they want to say in open court?
Just to recognize David's done a tremendous job.
Absolutely.
Done a really good job. You've made my life easier. I'm scared now. All right, well, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Dupnick, Commissioner Dupnick, and Judge Garza.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you so much.